Welcome to Chevill Monster Musk. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got Swamp and Mana Crypt into Night's Wisp. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. A little bit clunky, but I kind of like it. We got Night's Whisper and a Mana Crypt. Yeah, that sounds like a fun time. Let's go Swamp, let's go Mana Crypt, and let's just dump our hand like it's Affinity, and then let's go for Night's Whisper. We also do have a Snuff Out online, which is pretty nice. So let's go 1, 2. Let's go for this Night's Whisper. Hopefully we hit a green source. That's pretty much what we're looking for. And, all right, we don't. But at least we do hit Arcane Signet. So, anything else, we will go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, welcome to some Chevill. Hope you're excited to put some Monster Musk on our opponent's creatures and get some beautiful card draw and some beautiful life gain. We're playing Chevill, Bane of Monsters. Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker opponent controls. Then, whenever one of those permanents with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Playing against Nissa, Vastwood Seer. Nissa enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest card, reveal it, put it onto the battle, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. Then whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, exile Nissa, and then bring her back to the battlefield as a planeswalker, which we will cover in just a second. Let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. That is going to be 1 for 1 on those. Which I greatly enjoy. So, let's have Arcane Signet. Yeah, we'll do that. So, let's go Arcane Signet. That still gives us access to 2 mana. Do we want to snuff out on Lana War Elves? That may seem kind of aggressive. Either way, we can still end up actually going for Lightning Greaves. Or we can get Chevill down. Yeah, let's do this. We're playing against Mono Green. They're going to be getting creatures out like Lana War Elves. We need to take advantage of some 2 for 1. So, anything else? Let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. Playing against Nissa. Once she transforms, +1, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Then for a -2, create a legendary 4/4 green elemental creature token. And then for a -7, untap up to 6 target lands. They become 6/6 elemental creatures. They are still land. So we're going to see Cultivate come down. That's going to get a forest. And we're going to have a lot of War Elves out there that we're going to be able to cash in for some card draw. So that sounds like a pretty good option. Now this Cultivate will put 3 lands on the battlefield. So they will be online for Nissa next turn. But the good thing about Nissa is she's not going to flip just yet. So we can hopefully find another piece of removal. Oh yeah. Let's get some Monster Musk on that Lana War Elves over there. It's looking good. And so somebody had mentioned, now we'll jump into that here in a second. Let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. That is going to be loss of flip. We are 1 for 2 on those Mana Crypts. And then Nature's Lore. So is there any sort of sequencing that we're looking at? Potentially getting down Lightning Greaves and equipping onto Chevill. I think I kind of like that. So let's go for Nature's Lore. That's going to be green, and then Mana Crypt. That's going to be 1. That way we can grab Bayou and be a little bit better place once we get down this. Once we get down Lightning Greaves, and also have access to green mana. So let's have Bayou come down. Let's go for Lightning Greaves. We're going to leave up that Bayou. That way we can still leave up Nature's Claim. Let's go ahead and shift Lightning Greaves over onto Chevill. There we go. And let's go ahead and cash in the Snuff Out. We're going to pay 4 life. Blow up this Lana War Elves because it's about sending a message sometime. Oh, there we go. So paid 1 life to get rid of a creature. That's a pretty good piece of removal. And that may seem like a goofy line of play, but we're cutting our opponent off a mana dork. And we're kind of shoehorning our opponent into probably just going for Nissa next turn unless they have something really nice. Then we got to cash in a card draw. So that's kind of what this deck wants to do. So let's go and swing it for 1. That's going to knock our opponent down to 29. And we'll start the long road of chipping away 1 commander damage at a time. Starting at 1. So we've got 20 more turns and we've got the game. Anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/Jolt MTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That way, if you're in the market for some cards, you can help chip in some extra mana into my mana pool. So it's a great way to support the channel if you enjoy the channel. Guy's Touch, put a basic force from your hand onto the battlefield. Sack it to add double green. Man, I ran that in a deck recently. I really enjoyed it, but what was it? Man, I can't remember. Because I remember the art, and I was just like, yeah, kind of like having access to that devil green off to the side. It was, kind of cool. And so, and then it comes into play untapped, I think, too. Now, you do need to have a lot of lands in your hand to take advantage of it, but in the correct deck, think about tossing this into Gitrog. If you've got a bunch of basic force in there, that's a pretty good feeling. So, now with them having that Sword of the Animist, I think what we'll end up doing is popping that one because we just want to try to keep their land total down low. They're only down to 3 cards left in the hand. And so doubt those are going to be basic for us too. So if we can get rid of Sword of the Animus, that might help us get rid of that, you know, Eldrazi Temple. There might be an Eldrazi hanging around in there somewhere. So yeah, I think that's going to be good. So let's go Nature's Claim on Sword. We could probably potentially hold on to it, but I like doing this. It just cuts them off that lands, and we just don't want Nissa to flip for a good minute. So there we go. All right, pass it back over to our turn. Let's go ahead and there we go. It's going to be Mana Crypt trigger. Let's go and choose Tails on this one. We are 2 for 3 on those Mana Crypt triggers, and that is a Wooded Foothill. So I think we've actually got a pretty explosive hand. So we go Lotus Cobra. Then we have a land enter the battlefield that's going to be green mana for Tireless Tracker. Yeah, I like this. Yes, definitely use that ability. Let's add green. Let's go for Tireless Tracker. And then we might be able to, yeah, I think we can squeeze in a Spawn of Mayhem too. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. All right, so let's go and swing it with Chevill. That's going to be, oh, we should have shifted Lightning Greaves around. My bad, we could have put it on Tireless Tracker. When you're giving commentary, like shifting Lightning Greaves around is the most common mistake that I always make. I always forget about it. So a better line of play would have been to do that, especially with our opponent being tapped out. But we did get in for some damage, so we do have Spectacle online. So let's go and crack Wooded Foothills. And yeah, I think at this point, if we're going to lose, we're going to lose. So we might as well just go and grab a Overgrown Tomb because it's probably going to be a big Eldrazi creature. So let's have this Lotus Cobra add some black mana to our mana pool. Yes, definitely going to do that. There we go. And then we get that clue token. And then let's go ahead and cast old Spawn of Mayhem for its spectacle cost. Look at that. I've got a beautiful board state. We've got the clue token being cracked next turn. That's going to make Tireless Tracker a 4/3. We've got 4/4 in the air. This is a beautiful assortment. So anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, be sure to check out TCG Player. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you're going to play the brand new set, MTGO, especially Commander, MTGO is kind of your only spot right now with the pandemic going on. So be sure to check out MTGOTraders for all of your new Commander needs. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/jolt, that will apply my coupon code and allow you to get a discount and chip some mana to my mana pool. And last but not least, if you're still keeping score at home, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Front and ending credits, all that fun stuff. And if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time. So let's have some fun. All right, so we'll see what's in store for us. That is going to be a activation off Oran Reef, the Vastwood, and that's just going to be 1 green mana left in their mana pool. So I feel pretty good about this, especially with us cracking this clue token. We potentially might trade, but I'd love to rip into something to get rid of Nissa. That would be just excellent. So let's have the Spawn of Mayhem. Let's have Chevill put some Monster Musk on Nissa over there and... Oh, that's what it was. Somebody said he looks like Captain something from, or Sergeant something from Trimmers. And so my wife and I watched Trimmers, and I was like, yeah, I saw him. I was like, yeah, it looks just like him. So, all right, so we won the flip. We're 3 for 4 on those Mana Crypt triggers, and let's see. Oh, yeah. All right, so that is going to be Slaughter. And we're going to go for that. So let's go Slaughter. That's going to be black, black, and then Mana Crypt. And actually, I kind of like this just a little bit better. Let's tap down Arcane Signet. That way, if they destroy something... All right, so we will cast it with buyback. We're going to pop old Nissa over there. One of the cool things about Slaughter in a deck like this is it is expensive, but you're already gaining that 3 life, and so that really does basically just buyback for 1. The only downside is we do whiff on, and actually let's go and push in with the crew, so we can leave up Return to Nature if we want to, or we can crack a clue token and get in for a little bit extra damage. Because we can pop Guy's Touch. Yeah, I think actually I do like popping Guy's Touch. So let's destroy target enchantment. That way we just don't run into some weird Eldrazi scenario where they can pop that extra mana. So let's go and destroy that. There we go. All right, so swinging in, because that's going to put them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I feel a little bit better about that. So that's going to knock them down to 21. And then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So now the main reason that we did not get or not the main reason, the reason we did not get a bounty counter from popping Nissa is because whenever a commander dies, it doesn't go to the graveyard, so you never get a death trigger. It's going to go back to the command zone. So And that's why we didn't get to cash that in. But at least just having access to Slaughter, that's a pretty good feeling. So, and our opponent did not make the land drop, so they will be able to play this land. And that will be... Well, yeah, they do have 6 lands at this point right now, so that will get Nissa to flip. The good thing about Chevill is that Chevill will still go and put that bounty counter on the Nissa, but we're still in that same spot to where Nissa's just simply going to go back to the command zone. So we are probably looking at cracking the clue token next turn because we need to chip away at our opponent. You know, typically when you play against these Nissa decks, these mono green, and there's some really... you know, they ramp really quick and they get down Eldrazi. You know, not hating on the deck, but that's just pretty much what these decks do because it's just so hard to stop, and especially in 1v1. So that's why we're trying to keep the pressure up at this point right now. And that's what makes playing this Chevill deck so much fun is like, you know, you're in the driver's seat. You know, if you want to drive this deck fast, be real aggressive, you certainly can. If you need to sit back and kind of cash in card draw, you can certainly do that too. You can do a little mix of both. Don't really matter. Let's go and put a counter onto the Awoken. Because that's still going to keep us open on Slaughter, which will allow us to cash in a card draw. We'll be able to get that and swing past both of them, so that'll be a pretty good feeling. So let's put some Monster Musk over there. Oh, yes, look at that Elemental. Smelling good. That's 1 damage to our opponent. And we're still going to buy back on Slaughter, too. Let's choose Tails. Lost the flip. I think we're 3 for 5 on those. That's going to put us down to... Ooh. And then we get a Bounty Hunter. So if we end up going Bounty Hunter and then putting... Yeah, we don't have enough mana for that. So we need to do it like this. So that's going to be black, black, 1, 2. Let's go Slaughter, pay with buyback. Get rid of that creature. And that still keeps us open on a clue token too. So... And I love that art on that. It looks so good. All right, so we're going to gain 3 life. That's going to put us back up to 11. Ooh, Bloodstained Mire. Okay, this is really starting to open up. So we're going to get some extra mana from Lotus Cobra. That is going to be a clue token. Let's go and add black to our mana pool. And I will not forget about Bounty Hunter over there. Yes, we will do that. Let's add black. So at this point, we can swing in with Bounty Hunter. We can cast it. That's going to be basically, we have 5 total mana. So we can go for Bounty Hunter or just cash in a couple different clue tokens for Tireless Tracker. I think I kind of like that play just a little bit better. So let's do that. So this is going to be Bloodstained Mire. Let's grab ourselves a Swamp. That is going to be another swamp entering the battlefield. And this is a really good indication of what this deck wants to do. Just getting extra value from your land drops, whether it's card draw or extra mana. That's some good magic. Let's go and choose swamp on that one. And we'll get that last little clue token coming down. Yeah, I think that's going to be good because we've got Bounty Hunter, but it's basically the same damage and we get to cash in some card draw. So let's do it like that. So let's see what we rip into off of this clue token activation. It's going to be Bajuka Bog. Let's go for 1 more activation. And I think at this point, we're probably just going to leave Nissa on the battlefield because they can get another land down. And doesn't really sound that enticing to send her back so they can, you know, search up for another forest. Let's go and push in. Oh, look at this crew. Whole motley crew of creatures. All right, so we're going to be swinging in our opponent. That's going to be 4, 9. That's going to be 10. That's going to be 12. So it's going to put them down to 8. So that should be pretty... See if we can close it out next turn. It'll be a pretty good feeling if we do. Anything else? Let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So, but yeah, you know, our life total is down low. We are down to 10. But, you know, just like any black deck, you know, we're using our life total as a resource. So even something like Slaughter, the fact that it's just going to cost 1 life to basically get it back and get that card draw, it's exactly what you want to happen. Now, with Bounty Hunter, this is a great way to put bounty counters on your opponent's creatures and still get the Chevill option. I mean, just imagine if you have Bounty Hunter going, you go for those oh, please don't be an Eldrazi. We still have... Woodfall Primus. Okay, so that's not that bad. They're not going to be able to stop it. Destroy target non-creature permanent, so we're probably looking at Lightning Greaves. Okay, and I think we can still push in, because that's going to be 4 in the air. And we still potentially... Yeah, we can still end up going for Slaughter, but that will bring it back. Okay, well, we'll see how this one wants to play out. Because I want to make sure I don't want to miss something like this. If we can close it out, I definitely do want to close it out. So let's see what we draw into for the turn. And also, we have that extra ping damage, which might actually make a difference, too. So let's get the Spawn of Mayhem trigger. Let's go Chevill. Put some Monster Musk on Woodfall Primus over there. Gonna need a whole gallon drum of it. It's gonna pop our opponent for 1, put them down to 7. And let's see if let's go and choose Tails on this one. 1 the flip. I think we're 4 for 6 on those. and then we draw into Generous Patron. So, okay, so let's see. So either way, we're getting for 5 in the air. So with that, our opponent's completely tapped out. It looks like we've got it. So let's have Bojuka Bog come down. We're going to get the extra land option. That's going to be a Lotus Cobra trigger, Tireless Tracker, and let's go on Bojuka Bog our opponent's graveyard. But unless there's some sort of random fog effect that I'm missing, and we should be able to close it out on this one. So we're going to exile their graveyard. This could be an extra clue token with Lotus, not extra clue token, but extra mana. There we go. Going to crack that last clue token. Put a +1 counter on Tireless Tracker, and then we'll be able to swing in. That'll make it a 6/5, and still have just enough mana to go. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So, because we got 5 in the air, they'll put them down to 2, and then they simply just don't have enough blockers. So let's go and push it on this one. There we go. Swinging it all over our opponent and close it out. Yeah, that's pretty good showing. You know, even running some kind of mid-range options like Spawn of Mayhem, little things like this where you can get it out very cheaply at a very low cost. You know, we only had 3 mana, and it's a great way to kind of keep that pressure up on our opponent. We did see Eldrazi Temple, and you know, if you're building Nissa competitive, there's Eldrazi hanging around in there. Thankfully, we're able to just kind of keep that heat going and keep spraying our opponent's creatures with Monster Musk, only made from the finest crushed eggshells, monster eggshells. There we go. So, if you enjoyed your time wearing Monster Musk cologne, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.